I've done this sprayer technique with sprays, then with watercolor pencils, and now it's time to try it with ink. Let's get into it. We are getting inky for America's 250th birthday, and this was one of my favorite techniques from the live stream I did the other day. I will link that down below. Also, be sure to grab my free class over on the website. You get lifetime access. Link for that is below too. Now, this technique is super simple, but sometimes the simplest techniques make the most beautiful cards. I'm going to walk you through the full technique and then show you how to turn this background into a full card. Now, before we start, tell me in the comments, what are you doing to celebrate 4th of July this year? I want to know. Here are the example backgrounds. I absolutely love how these turned out. The technique is very, very simple. You just need a couple of things. So I'm going to be using two different colors here, the lumberjack plaid in regular distress ink, and then also chipped sapphire in regular distress ink. The paper I'm going to be using is Strathmore Mixed Media in the 400 series. This measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm just using this paper because I'm going to be adding quite a bit of water to this and then layering on some more ink, adding some more water. So I want to make sure that my paper is going to hold up to all of that. So this little brayer is from Tim Holtz. You can use whatever brayer you like. I'm just going to take it and put some of that ink down. And then just kind of, no rhyme or reason, just kind of place some down here. And I'm going up and down and side to side just to get a little variation. I'm going to add a little bit more in a couple areas, press more firmly down in some areas and then lighter in other areas. Again, that's how you're going to get some of that variation. Okay. Now you do need to clean off your brayer in between the colors, only because you don't want to make purple. So unless that's what you're going for, I'm just going to take a little bit of water and then this cloth here and then just kind of wipe it down. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I don't personally want to make purple. I am going to use a little bit of heat to dry this layer of ink before I move on to adding the blue. Now it doesn't have to be perfectly dry, just enough, and I'm going to just hit it from the back as well. I don't want those colors to mix too much, right? All right, now you notice that I have a smaller ink cube, and that is definitely okay. You do not need all of the big inks to do these techniques. All right, then I'm just going to go over those blank areas, those white areas, but then also overlapping the red as well. Okay. And then again, same thing. I'm going pressing harder in some areas and then lighter in others. And then vertical and like I'm going up and down and side to side with the brayer. A little bit more blue right here, going up on that side there. A little bit right there. Okay. So you're probably thinking it does not look anything like this, and you're correct, because we are going to add some water to this. Add a little spritz of water, and we're going to get that color wicking and kind of moving a little bit, adding some depth into this background. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now we're going to dry this. Now I am going to bring in my cookie cooling rack. This lifts up that paper from the background or the surface so that the heat can flow through the paper. It also heats up because it's metal, so I feel like it helps dry it a little bit quicker. And then it also frees up one hand, because if you're trying to dry something, usually you're holding it so you can, have one hand free, which I usually like to kind of use to splatter on more color or water. And I'm not going to dry this completely. Okay, oh, I got some water on this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paper towel roll and then just kind of roll it right over top. Now I'm going to take that off of the cookie cooling rack, and I'm going to add some more blue first so that I don't have to clean it and then add the red and then clean it again and then add the blue. That does not make sense, right? Just add the blue first, since that's the last color we used. Again, adding a little bit more pressure this time because this is the second coat of ink. Okay, just in some areas. I'm going to clean off my brayer. Going with that red now. Again, overlapping some of that blue. Not to mix the colors or blend the colors, but just to get that, you know, layered effect in the background. If you do want one color to stand out more than another, you could use oxides if that's what you choose. I like the vibrancy of the Distress inks. Okay. I'm going to bring back in that cookie cooling rack, and then we're going to spritz a little bit more water on here. And then this time, instead of drying it first and then picking up the excess water, we're going to take that paper towel roll and then just roll it right on top and then dry this. I didn't press too hard. I didn't go over it too many times, just to get a little bit of that excess water off. And then we will again add another layer of water. I think that's good with color. If you want more coverage, you definitely can. Now in some of these areas, I'm going to try to get it to wick out a little bit more. So I'm just going to take that spray bottle and then just lightly spritz. I'm not spritzing like fully. I'm not pressing the trigger down fully. Just enough to get a few little droplets out and a tiny little mist. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Now we're just going to continue to dry this. And I do want to flip my paper around so I can get a look at it at the other angle. It's important. All right, we're going to add a little bit more water here. Again, we're adding lots of layers and depth to this. So I'm just spraying the water in my hand and then just kind of letting it drip, big droplets. And then once it's mostly off my hand, I just go in and flick it, the excess off, okay? I'm gonna dry this again. Now I do see that center and I kind of want that to wick out a little bit more. I don't really like it just in that one little area, so I'm just gonna spritz that with a little bit of water. And I think one more splatter of water there. And I'm going to take my paper towel roll this time and then just pick all that up. And then this is what we are left with. You can keep adding layers of color and then more water, but you could see all of that depth in that one background with just a brayer and some ink and a little bit of water. Really, really fun. All right, we are going to turn this background now into a card. Before I die cut it out with my heart cover plate die, I'm actually going to add some foundry wax to this and then maybe some white splatters. So I'm gonna take my foundry wax and shake it up. Just gonna add a little bit right here. And just like a drop or two of isopropyl alcohol to thin that out. It may need just a little bit more, but nope, that's probably good. And we're just gonna splatter that on, because you don't want to add too much isopropyl alcohol, to the foundry wax, or it will get too thin and it won't give you that really cool texture that you like. Well, that I like, I should say. If you want it more flat looking, you definitely can add a little bit more isopropyl alcohol. It won't get as shiny, so, because it kind of just seeps into that paper. Kind of want more in some areas and less in others, because I am going to be die cutting this out with a cover plate die. Let me pick this up so I can see where all that is. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to heat set this. All right, you can see that gold right there splattered all over that background. Love it. Okay, I'm gonna clean this up, and I just like to take, you could use water, but I just take the isopropyl alcohol, and then I'll take washcloth or paper towel. Then I'm going to take that cover plate die, and we are going to die cut out all of the hearts. I'm going to take some of this mint tape and place that right over top of this die cut. And then the hope is that most of them will stay in place, and then that way I can just add the glue to the back, and then it doesn't have to be perfect. Straight-ish is what we're going for. So I embossed this white background with a Honeybee Stamps star embossing folder, maybe from a year or two ago. I'm not too sure. I don't think it's available anymore. I apologize, but I'm using what I have. So I'm going to add the foam dots to each heart, and I think I'm going to double them up. All right, I am going to double these up because the scrapbook.com, the foam adhesive is not that thick. I need to get some thicker ones. All right, so I'm going to take this background, try to line it up the best I can. It doesn't have to be very perfect, but I want to make sure that it's pretty good because I want it to be, you know, all the hearts even and spaced out nicely. Okay, so because the hearts have the adhesive on it, I'm just going to press those down, and then we should be able to just pull this straight up. Just trying to be pretty careful here. Isn't that so pretty? I did get quite a bit of purple this time, but that's okay. I love this. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm just going to press those down. Now I should have roughed up the edges first, but we're going to do that. And what I always like to do is just take my scissors, open them up, and then hold one side like steady, and then I'll just take the back and then just kind of scrape the back just like this. I've tried a few tools, they just don't work that great, or it's just easier and more comfortable with the scissors. You have to be careful. All right, so on this example, I used a different embossing folder, which I kind of like a little bit more because you can't really see the stars back there, but that's okay. I do like this background a lot more than this one. All right, I think it needs a little bit of white splatters just to brighten up some of those hearts a little bit. Just to kind of bring everything together. All right, to finish it off, I'm just going to use this Let Freedom Ring sentiment that I had embossed with gold embossing powder. I'm trying to get it more in the center. Let freedom ring. Now, I couldn't leave you with just one technique. I actually hosted a full live stream with even more 4th of July techniques, including a few card ideas you can make with them. I will link that up right here so you can go watch the replay next. I'll see you there so we can get our hands inky.